Good morning, students. Let's continue our chapter, Electoral Politics. So today we will discuss about what makes election in India democratic. How could you say that whatever election held in India, that is democratic, that is in a proper way? So we have a very good reason for that. Okay, first of all, we get to read a lot about unfair practices in elections. Newspaper and television reports often refer to such allegations. Most of these reports are about the following. So, during the election time, we used to hear lots of news regarding elections, right? False allegation, or sometimes because of the voters list, or sometimes the people who are contesting elections. Okay, so those reports include for examples, inclusion of false name and exclusion of genuine name in the voters list. So sometimes, in order to get a majority of vote, these political parties, they used to include a false name and exclude the genuine name. Second, misuse of government facilities and officials by ruling parties. The ruling party, they have power, so they can misuse government facilities and officials. Okay. Third one is excessive use of money by rich candidate and big parties, and intimidation of voters and ringing on the polling day. Okay, so sometimes the political parties, obviously they are rich, and some members who used to take bribes and all, they are very rich, and they used to use excessive money, okay, in the election campaign and all. And sometimes they used to intimidate voters, like they themselves appear as voters, and they used to give votes by one people, let's talk about 5 or 6 votes at a time. So all these are the unfair practices in elections. Okay, these things happened in election. You believe it or not, but these things obviously happen in election, not only in India but all over the world where you find democracy. So sometimes many of these reports are correct. We feel happy when we read or see such reports, but fortunately they are not at such a scale so as to defeat the very purpose of election. Independent Election Commission. So whatever reports we have discussed, whatever problems we have discussed, that are in practices in every democratic country. But all the allegations, we cannot say all the allegations are correct, and we sometimes have to think about how can we say that the ruling party, whichever is our ruling party in the center, that one is chosen by the common people. If such things are happened in India, if such types of cases are happening in election, so the answer is Independent Election Commission. How? So the one simple way of checking whether elections are fair or not is to look at who conducts the election. Now, who conducts the election? There is only one election commission who conducts all the election, from the date of election to the result, till the result or the counting of the election. And our election commission is independent, like the judiciary. Judiciary is independent, right? No one can control judiciary. Similarly, election commission is also independent and very powerful. No one can control election commission, whether it's a government or whether it's a political parties or anyone. No one have the power to control our election commission. The chief election commissioner is appointed by the President of India. So the chief election commissioner is appointed by the President. President has the power to appoint the chief election commissioner, but he cannot remove election commissioner. He can only appoint him. Okay, no one has the power to remove chief election commissioner. Okay, whether it's a president or whether it's a government or whether it's a political parties. No one has the power to remove Chief Election Commissioner. Okay, and the Chief Election Commissioner is not answerable to the president, though president appoints him, but he is not even answerable to the president. Okay, so the election commission is independent, and election commissions have a wide ranging powers as the Election Commission of India. The first power is that Election Commission decides on every aspect of conduct and control of election, from the announcement of election to the declaration of result. So whatever happened during election time, everything will be decided by the Election Commission only. Election Commission control the election from the announcement of the election to the declaration of result. Second, it implement the code of conduct and punishes any candidates or party that violates it. So the Selection Commission always focuses on code of conduct and has the power to punish any candidate or any party who ever violate the code of conduct. Okay. During the election period, the Election Commission can order the government to follow some guidelines to prevent use and misuse of governmental power, to enhance its chances to win election, or to transfer some government officials. So, during election period, the Election Commission can order the government also to follow certain rules and regulation or guidelines, and to prevent the use of, sometimes government try to misuse its power, right? They try to give their support to one of the political parties. So Election Commission can order the government to follow certain guidelines. Okay. And the last one, when on election duty, government officers work under the control of the Election Commission and not the government. So during the election time, the government, okay, whoever the government officials are there, they used to work for the Election Commission and not for the government. They are under Election Commission. Okay, so these are the power of Election Commission, and Election Commission is one of the most important and independent commission of India during the election time. So, and is not Election Commission is not controlled by any other political parties or the government or anything in India. Okay. So, in the last 25 years or so, the Election Commission has begun to exercise all its power and even expand them. It is very common now for the Election Commission to reprimand the government and administration for their lapse. When election officials came to the opinion that polling was not fair in some booths or even in entire constituencies, they order a repoll. So, Election Commission has the power. Election Commission cannot be, they exercise all its power by themselves. Sometimes if they find out that in some election, in some constituency, the election was unfair, that time the Election Commission can order a repoll, again there will be a election again. Okay, the ruling party often do not like what the Election Commission does, but they have to obey. They would not have happened if the Election Commission was not independent and powerful. So the ruling parties, sometimes they do not like whatever Election Commission is doing, but they have to obey. They do not have any other choices. Okay, they have to make Election Commission independent and powerful, whatever they do. So the Election Commission is one of the most independent and the powerful officials during the election campaign. So no one has the power to control, not even the government or the political parties or anything. Even during the election time, Election Commission can give certain guidelines or certain rules and regulations to follow to the government also. Okay, and all the government officials, they used to work under Election Commission during election duty. Okay, so this is why Election Commission is independent in India. In our next class, we will discuss about popular participation. Okay, how can we say that the election in India is democratic? So there are many other reasons. One of the most important reason was election commission, because that one is independent. Another there are few other reasons also, like popular participation. Participation means people's participation. How people's participation makes election commission election in India a democratic one. Okay.